Have you ever woken up in the morning, stretched your arms, and thought, I wish I had just a little more energy today? Maybe it takes longer to get out of bed, or your joints feel a little stiffer than they used to. That feeling is completely normal, but here's the good news: you have more control over your energy, strength, and independence than you might think. Aging doesn't mean losing your ability to live life on your own terms. It doesn't mean giving up the little things that make life feel fulfilling, like carrying your own groceries, going for a walk without worry, or playing with your grandkids without feeling worn out. The secret lies in small, daily routines that keep your body strong, your mind sharp, and your independence intact for years to come. And the best part? These routines aren't complicated. You don't need to spend hours in a gym or make drastic changes to your life. In fact, most of these habits take just a few minutes a day, but the impact they have can be life-changing. So let's dive right in, starting with the foundation of everything: movement. You've probably heard the phrase, use it or lose it. Well, when it comes to strength and balance, that couldn't be more true. One of the biggest reasons people lose their independence as they age isn't because of illness, it's because they stop moving. When you're not regularly using your muscles, they weaken. And when they weaken, everyday tasks, like standing up from a chair, stepping over a curb, or even reaching for something on a high shelf, become harder and riskier. But here's the thing: you don't need to do intense exercise to stay strong. Even a few minutes of movement each day can make a huge difference. Think about this: if you were to stand up from your chair 10 times in a row, without using your hands, how would that feel? Would it be easy, or would it take effort? This simple movement, often called a sit-to-stand exercise, is one of the best ways to keep your legs strong, so that getting out of a chair, or even off the toilet, never becomes a struggle. Another small but powerful habit? Standing on one foot while brushing your teeth. It sounds almost too simple, but this tiny challenge helps improve balance. And balance is something that naturally declines as we age, unless we actively work on it. Let's not forget walking. A short, 10-minute walk every day can do wonders, not just for your strength, but for your heart, your circulation, and even your mood. Now, you might be thinking, but what if I have joint pain? That's a real concern, and one of the biggest reasons people avoid movement. But here's the surprising truth: moving actually helps reduce joint pain. When you move, you keep your joints lubricated and prevent stiffness from setting in. The key is gentle, consistent movement, things like stretching, walking, or even chair exercises if standing is difficult. I once knew a man named Richard. He was in his early 70s and had been an active guy most of his life. But after a knee surgery, he slowed down. At first, it made sense: he needed time to heal. But then, days turned into weeks, and before he knew it, he was sitting more than he was moving. One day, he realized that just getting up from his favorite recliner was a challenge. That's when he decided to start small, just 5 minutes of movement a day. A short walk. A few sit-to-stands. Little by little, he regained his strength. And by the end of that year, he was back to doing things he never thought he'd do again. That's the power of small, daily movement. It keeps you in control of your own body. It keeps you strong. And most importantly, it keeps you independent. Now that we've covered the importance of movement, let's talk about another daily habit that plays a huge role in maintaining strength and independence: what you eat. We've talked about movement, how small, daily actions like standing up from a chair without using your hands, balancing on one foot, or taking a short walk can help keep your muscles strong and your body steady. But there's another piece of the puzzle that's just as important: what you put on your plate every day. Think about this: your body is like a house. Over time, the walls can weaken, the foundation can crack, and repairs become necessary. But if you keep the structure well maintained, it stays strong for years. Food is your building material. The right choices help rebuild muscle, keep your bones solid, and fuel your energy so you can keep doing the things you love. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly should I eat to stay strong and independent? The answer is simpler than you might think. It's not about fad diets, complicated meal plans, or eliminating all the foods you love. It's about focusing on the right nutrients, the ones that help your muscles, bones, and brain function at their best. First and foremost, let's talk about protein. If you've ever felt weaker than you used to, or noticed that lifting things takes more effort, protein might be the missing piece. As we age, we naturally lose muscle mass, but here's the thing, you can slow down that process, or even reverse it, just by eating enough protein every day. And no, you don't need to eat a giant steak or drink protein shakes like bodybuilders do. Some of the best sources of protein are easy to add to your meals, like eggs, Greek yogurt, beans, lentils, fish, chicken, and even tofu. One of the easiest ways to include more protein? Start your day with it. Instead of just having toast or cereal for breakfast, try adding an egg, a handful of nuts, or even some cottage cheese. Protein in the morning helps keep your energy stable throughout the day, so you don't feel sluggish or weak by lunchtime. I once spoke with a woman named Carol. She was in her late 60s and had always been active, but she started feeling like her strength was fading. She wasn't doing anything differently, but she noticed it was harder to lift groceries, and even standing up after sitting for a while felt tougher. When she started adding just one more serving of protein to each meal, she was amazed at how much better she felt within a few weeks. Now, protein is just one part of the equation. There's another key ingredient for staying strong: calcium and vitamin D. Your bones are alive, they're constantly being rebuilt, just like your muscles. And to keep them strong, they need calcium and vitamin D working together. The problem? Many people don't get enough, especially as they get older. Dairy products like milk, cheese, and yogurt are great sources of calcium, but if you don't eat much dairy, you can get it from leafy greens like spinach and kale, almonds, and even fortified plant-based milks. But here's the catch: calcium alone isn't enough. Your body needs vitamin D to absorb it properly. And the best source of vitamin D? Sunlight. Spending just 10 to 15 minutes in the sun every day, especially in the morning or late afternoon, can make a big difference. If you live in a place where sunlight is limited, or if you don't go outside as much, vitamin D supplements can help. One of the most common mistakes people make as they age is thinking they need less food because they aren't as active. But cutting back too much, especially on protein and calcium, can actually make you weaker. The key is eating enough of the right things to keep your body functioning at its best. Now, let's talk about hydration. Have you ever felt dizzy when standing up too fast? Or noticed that you're more tired than usual? A lot of times, those symptoms aren't just from aging, they're from dehydration. As we get older, our sense of thirst becomes less sensitive. That means you might not feel thirsty, even when your body really needs water. And when you don't drink enough, your blood pressure can drop, making you feel lightheaded, which increases the risk of falls. The solution? Make drinking water a habit. Keep a glass by your bedside and take a sip as soon as you wake up. Carry a water bottle with you, even if you're just at home. Herbal teas, broth-based soups, and even water-rich foods like cucumbers and watermelon can also help keep you hydrated. One of the simplest tricks I've seen work? Use a marked water bottle. I knew a man named George. He was 75 and always forgot to drink water. But when he started using a water bottle that had time markers on it, reminding him to take a sip every hour, he started drinking more without even thinking about it. The result? More energy, better digestion, and no more dizzy spells when standing up. Food and hydration are the fuel that keeps your body running. When you give it the right nutrients, you're not just preventing problems, you're building strength, protecting your bones, and ensuring that you stay independent for years to come. And now that we've covered how to fuel your body, let's talk about another daily habit that makes all the difference: your mindset and mental sharpness. Your body needs the right fuel to stay strong, but just as important as what you eat is how you think. The way you approach each day, your mindset, your attitude, and your ability to stay mentally engaged plays a huge role in maintaining independence as you age. Think about it like this: your brain is a muscle. Just like the muscles in your legs and arms, it needs exercise to stay sharp and strong. When you challenge it, When you give it new things to learn, it stays active and flexible. But when you stop using it, it can slow down, just like an unused muscle becomes weak. Have you ever noticed that some people seem sharp and full of life even in their 80s or 90s, while others start to slow down much earlier? A big part of that difference comes down to mental engagement. Keeping your mind active isn't just about preventing memory loss, it's about staying connected, curious, and engaged with the world around you. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I'm not interested in doing crossword puzzles all day. And that's okay. Mental exercise isn't about doing things that feel like work. It's about finding ways to keep your brain engaged in a way that's enjoyable and meaningful to you. One of the best ways? Learn something new. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. Maybe you pick up a new hobby, gardening, painting, playing an instrument, or even learning a few words in a new language. Maybe you start reading about a topic that fascinates you, or you challenge yourself to memorize a short poem every week. I once met a woman named Nancy. She was in her early 70s and had never used a computer before. But when her grandson gave her a tablet and showed her how to use it, she became hooked. She started learning how to send emails, how to look up things online, and eventually, she even joined an online book club. The best part? She felt more connected than ever, not just to technology, but to her family, to her friends, and to the world. And that's the real key, staying connected. Loneliness is one of the biggest threats to independence as we age. It's not just about feeling sad, it actually affects your physical health. Studies show that social isolation can lead to higher blood pressure, weakened immunity, and even cognitive decline. So how do you stay connected? It doesn't have to be complicated. Call an old friend just to chat. Invite a neighbor over for coffee. Join a local club or a group that shares your interests. If you don't have many social opportunities nearby, technology can be a lifeline. Video calls, online groups, even simple text messages can make a big difference. One of the simplest things you can do to keep your brain sharp? Stay curious. Ask questions. Try to learn something new every day, even if it's just a small fact. Watch a documentary, read an article, or listen to a podcast on a subject that interests you. When you engage with the world, your brain stays active, flexible, and sharp, and that keeps you independent longer. But mental sharpness isn't just about learning, it's also about emotional resilience. Life changes as we get older. Friends move away, family members get busy, and sometimes we face unexpected challenges. But one of the biggest strengths you can develop is the ability to adapt and find joy in the present moment. Have you ever met someone who seems to stay positive no matter what? The kind of person who can find a silver lining in any situation? That's not just luck, it's a skill. It's something you can develop by practicing gratitude, focusing on what you can control, and staying open to new experiences. One simple habit? Start each day by thinking of 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. Maybe it's the smell of fresh coffee, a call from a loved one, or the way the sun shines through your window. When you start your day with gratitude, it shifts your mindset. Instead of focusing on what's missing, you focus on what's good, and that makes a huge difference in how you feel. Another powerful habit? Smile more. It sounds simple, but smiling, even when you don't feel like it, actually changes your brain chemistry. It releases endorphins, reduces stress, and can even improve your immune system. Plus, when you smile, people are more likely to smile back, which strengthens your social connections and boosts your mood. The bottom line? Your mindset shapes your reality. Staying mentally engaged, socially connected, and emotionally resilient isn't just about avoiding decline, it's about living a full, rich, independent life for as long as possible. And now that we've covered the power of your mind, let's move on to one final daily habit that ties everything together: how you end your day. The way you end your day is just as important as how you start it. Think about it. When you go to bed feeling restless, stressed, or overwhelmed, it affects how well you sleep. And when your sleep suffers, everything suffers: your energy, your balance, your mood, and even your ability to stay independent. So let's talk about winding down the right way, a simple nightly routine that helps you relax, recharge, and set yourself up for success the next day. One of the most important things you can do? Create a sense of closure for the day. Have you ever laid in bed, staring at the ceiling, your mind racing with all the things you should have done, could have done, or need to do tomorrow? That kind of stress doesn't just keep you up at night, it wears on you over time, making you feel exhausted, anxious, and less in control of your own life. A simple fix? Write it down. Before bed, take a few minutes to jot down anything that's on your mind. It could be a to-do list for tomorrow, a few thoughts about the day, or even just a short note about something good that happened. This small habit helps your brain let go of unfinished thoughts so you can truly relax. Another key? Avoid overstimulation before bed. We live in a world of constant noise, TV screens, phone notifications, endless news updates. But all that stimulation keeps your brain on high alert, making it harder to wind down. Instead, try replacing your usual pre-bedtime activities with something soothing. Maybe you listen to soft music, read a few pages of a book, or do a little light stretching. If you enjoy a warm cup of tea before bed, chamomile or peppermint can help signal to your body that it's time to relax. And speaking of relaxation, breathing deeply before bed can make a huge difference. Try this. Close your eyes, take a slow breath in through your nose for a count of 4, hold it for 4 seconds, then exhale slowly through your mouth. Do this a few times, and you'll feel your body start to relax almost instantly. It's a simple way to shift out of stress mode and into rest mode. Now, let's talk about sleep itself, because the quality of your sleep directly affects your ability to stay independent. Good sleep isn't just about feeling rested, it affects your balance, memory, reaction time, and even your immune system. Without enough sleep, you're at a higher risk for falls, forgetfulness, and even serious health issues like heart disease and high blood pressure. But as we age, getting deep, restful sleep can become more challenging. So how do you set yourself up for better sleep? One of the best ways? Stick to a routine. Your body thrives on rhythm. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, even on weekends, helps regulate your internal clock, making it easier to fall asleep and stay asleep. Another big one? Make your sleep environment as comfortable as possible. A cool, dark, quiet room is ideal. If outside noises or lights keep you up, consider using blackout curtains or a white noise machine. And if your mattress or pillows are over 10 years old, it might be time for an upgrade. Your body deserves proper support. And let's not forget about late-night snacking. Eating too close to bedtime, especially heavy or sugary foods, can disrupt your sleep. If you do need a snack, something light like a banana, yogurt, or a handful of almonds can help promote relaxation without keeping you awake. The most important thing? Listen to your body. If you're feeling restless at night, don't just lie there frustrated. Get up, stretch, read something calming, or do a breathing exercise. Forcing yourself to stay in bed while your mind is racing only makes it worse. And when you wake up in the morning, instead of immediately jumping out of bed, take a moment to check in with yourself. Stretch a little. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself that today is a new day, full of possibilities. Because at the end of the day, your routines shape your independence. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, the choices you make, staying active, eating well, keeping your mind engaged, staying connected, and getting quality rest, all work together to keep you strong, steady, and living life on your own terms for years to come. So here's to you, to waking up each day with energy, moving with confidence, staying sharp, and living a life that's full, vibrant, and independent for as long as possible. Because you deserve nothing less. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more tips on staying strong, healthy, and independent at any age. See you in the next one.